Hi, my name is Rebecca and this is my Connemara pony Sheridan, and today I will show you some liberty technique, how to make the pony stay with you, find the roundness and also do some different obstacles without losing the pony and keep the relaxation. So come and join me and have a look what you can do with your pony. If I have a feeling that my pony is relaxed and following nicely, I prefer to invite the pony, tell him, could you please follow the whip and follow my shoulders, like this. That creates a more relaxed pony, as you can see. Turning, take the whip down, start walking, and see if he would like to join me. And when I'm satisfied, I'm trying to place myself behind the shoulders, because I also have a feeling that the pony relaxes better if I'm not standing close to the head or the neck. That also creates that I'm a little bit kind of pressure on my pony. So if I can stand behind the shoulders, I see that the head easily goes down and the pony finds this relaxed state. So let's have a look at the following only from plan A, only from inviting the inside, and this is the way I do it if I see that the pony is relaxed. This is following inside, changing with hand, inviting him to come next to me on the other side. Let's try again. Changing with hand, changing my shoulders, like this. Changing with hand, changing shoulders. Changing with hand, changing shoulders. And I do this really slow. Sometimes I call the basic liberty in silence, because I really want the pony to do it slow, step by step, so he knows that he will be able to relax and he will be able to understand my aid. Sometimes we need plan B, so let's have a look at plan B as well. Means that I'm facing him, I'm walking backwards and I'm putting the whip on the outside shoulder to bring him to me. So I can do it like this. I'm placing the whip on his outside shoulder, back away from him and bring him to me. This gives me a higher control of the horse, but I have to be aware of that it's also raising the stress level in the pony, because he's walking away from the pressure rather than stepping into the whip from an invitation. But of course it's still good to have it is plan B. It's something that I can use if plan A doesn't work. So now I would like to practice with the figure 8 here. You will see that we're doing some changes from plan A into plan B. So come and join me and have a look. This was figure 8. He was following from plan A, body language, but when we were making the turning, the change of direction, I used plan B, catching outside front leg, facing him, and when I was sure he was stepping closer to me and really stepping my direction, I was changing my shoulders and invited him to the new side. Changing my hand, changing my shoulder. So this time I'm only changing the direction. I'm not looking at him. I'm trusting him to follow. from plan A, just following the shoulders, invitation from the whip. It's something really interesting with ponies, that they have a different, when they use their body language, they use it more slow than we humans usually do. So if I, for example, ask you to go and bring me a cup of coffee, your natural movement would be like this. Yes, I go and I get the coffee. But when I move in this speed and this rhythm, the pony have learned just to close off. So he doesn't really listening to me. That means that if I suddenly want him to listening, maybe I have to increase my aid even more because he wasn't sure if I wanted him to focus or not. So how should we do? Because I don't want to increase the signal. It's good that the pony knows I don't want him anything when I'm walking as I usually do. And a very easy way to find a better contact with the pony when you want something is to slow down your rhythm. So if I'm walking like this, the pony will not focus at me. But if I start to walk like this and take it really slow, the pony suddenly starts to respond to my aid. Yeah. When it comes to liberty, one of the most common problems is that we are afraid of losing the pony. If the pony runs away, the better plan you have how to find a solution if the pony spooks or run away, the more relaxed you will become if this happening. In the beginning, I learned it was a good idea to ask the pony to continue running before it turned and faces me. But this is not something I do anymore, because that also created the pony got a little bit unsecure when it comes to me and my body language. Later, I learned to call the pony to me from distance, but that also increased the stress level in the pony because he was turning, facing, running up to me, but the stress level was still high. So, okay, how do we do? I would like to show you now how I do it these days, and maybe it can give at least some of you a good idea how you can do it with your pony. So come with me and see if I can lose my pony here. Invite him to eat some grass. Pretend that I'm losing him. Like this. When the pony runs away, he usually stops eating grass somewhere or in the stable or close to his friends. And when my pony runs away and he's eating grass, if he knows that I will correct him while eating, he will immediately start to spook and run and run and run again and again. So if I'm losing my pony like this, I practice just walking up to my pony and pat him like this. No corrections. And maybe you can just take a step away again and then go back to your horse. So the horse knows that you will not give this high stress level. Now it's time to ask my pony to come with me again. And I have two options. I can do it from plan A, invite, get a relaxed pony, or plan B. So I'm placing myself in this position and I'm starting to invite the pony by lifting the whip, see if he can bring his outside shoulder closer to me. But if I see that he's walking away, I can slightly bring the whip in front, take plan B, bring outside shoulder to me. So let's have a look. I take my hand off, give him some room, trying to touch hindquarter, see if he's coming closer to me or walking away. He was coming closer, and I release the whip like this, stop and give him a pause. And as you can see, the stress level is really, really low now. Of course, he would be happy if he could go back and eat, but he's already ready to listening and start playing with me again. So this is a nice way of asking the pony to come back, rather than having a pony running away everywhere. So if the pony, remember, if the pony spooks, runs away, start eating grass, let him grazing for a while before you ask him to come with you. So the pony starts to get the idea that also if I'm using the whip on the inside, I still want him to shape around and step closer to the whip. And this is really, really fun, because if the pony starts to get the idea of this aid, plan A, from the inside, we can easily start to play with the roundness later. When we're playing with the aids like this, I'm using plan A, and plan B, I can also use it when it comes to, for example, trailer loading. Standing on the inside, I can use it like this. Tell him, please search for me and come with me forward. So let's have a look at an exercise here where you can see how I can start to use this following feeling also later for some kind of trailer loading. When I have the feeling that the pony following easy in walk, then it's time to have a look at the trot. And today I would like to show you the aids, how I'm starting to do the trot. Maybe put my hand on his nose, because I don't want him to get closer, but I don't want to correct him if he does either. So hand on the nose, reach with a whip on the inside shoulder, and see, and take the hand away and see if he can step closer to me, like this. Touch. And when you start walking, I can confirm 1 or 2 steps backwards to invite him and tell him, yes, this was what I was looking for. But I keep the whip in plan A, means invite him to step closer to it. So I again touch, but this time I'm start turning and see if he can step closer to me. So I can reach hindquarter. Good boy. And as soon as he speeds up just a tiny bit, I release and say thank you. That was perfect. And now I know that the pony understands that I want him to speed up closer to me when I'm pointing with the whip on him, but he's still not moving away from the whip, he's stepping into the whip more. So now it's time to see if we can do this also just while walking from plan A. Showing the direction with the shoulders, ask him to speed up, following me, And if he gets a little bit insecure, not know what I want, I can show him the whip just slightly and ask him to step into the whip even more. Let's have a look. One thing that I think is really fun when it comes to playing in Liberty is to see if I'm, even though I play in Liberty, are able to make my pony understand my aids so well that he can start to walk in roundness, start to find a little bit collection. And so far I find out that I need 3 things working to make the pony follow me in the Liberty and also start to give me the roundness. My body tells the tempo. If I go faster, he goes faster. If I go slower, he goes slower. But he knows that he's supposed to try to hold this position. Next thing I need to be able is to start playing a little bit with the bending of the horse. Because if the pony can start bending, he can start softening up the inside, and that also helps him create the roundness. So if I point with the whip here, I want him to bend this way. If I lift the whip, come here, I want him to bend this direction, so I can start to play with the bending of the horse. And then also the last thing is that I want to be able to change the rhythm in my pony. So if I touch with the whip on his hindquarter, I want him to be able to speed up, but he knows that he's supposed to stay close to me. So that means if I get bending, if I get speed up, but still searching, he will start to collect himself a little bit. First, we try to have a look at these exercises separately. We will do walk, trot, walk to see that he understands the tempo. And we will also do the octagon, playing with lifting outside front leg, but from the inside. So that was checking the tempo, and as you could see already now, he started offering the roundness a little bit away from me. Because I'm using the whip, I show him the whip on the inside, and he starts to creating energy and bending and start to find roundness tiny bit already now. Okay, let's have a look at the inside aid, because it's much easier to play with the roundness and collection from the inside. As you probably understand, it's quite hard to cantering on the outside of the horse and trying to do something good or productive. So now I know that he's following me. I can get walk, trot, walk, and I can also get stepping closer to me, bending towards me, lifting outside front leg when I'm doing the octagon exercise from the inside. It's important when I'm playing from the inside that I'm walking straight ahead, and when I want him to give the bending, I really are aware of that I'm lifting my own outside front leg, give him room to move, so I'm not starting to walk backwards. I want him to do the same, mirror me. So I go like this to see if he can step with his outside front leg closer to me. Aha! Now let's have a look and see if we can start to combine these things, so I can get the energy, the feeling of following, and also a little bit higher rhythm, and see if we can start to give the roundness just a tiny bit. The tricky part is to not ask for too much in the beginning. I just want him to give the idea of roundness. So tiny bit. I really have to remember this. It's so easy to ask for too much in the beginning. And I also realized it's easier to ask for half steps or piaffe in the beginning rather than a collected forward going walk or trot. So that's why I would like to show you the more collected exercise first, because it's easier for the pony. At least that's my feeling when I'm playing a little. And now the tricky part, to see if I can get a little bit more also forward going roundness, so I don't have a pony that just going more slow and slow and slow when I want the roundness. And this is a part that I find quite tricky in the beginning, but we will have a look at it. So this is the first time when I actually place the whip behind me. And I will do the same as when I did this direction. The difference is that when I use the whip on the inside like this, I become really clear in my body language. I see the pony and the pony gets an idea of following. When I use the whip behind me, it gets so easy that I ask it a little bit too much and the pony walks away from the whip rather than stepping into it. So we will have a look, and I start again to introduce the octagon for him and see if I can walk forward, lift the whip, step aside, and see if he can continue walking forward and following the whip from the inside. Oj, vad du var bra! Well, this was a fast introduction to what you can do with your pony if you start to play with Liberty. And I really like this way of playing with a horse, because you can play with jumping fences, you can start playing with the roundness, and you keep the pony in a relaxed state of mind. And I get the feeling he's kind of smiling a bit. Don't you? Relaxed pony. So that's why I call this system sometimes Liberty in Silence, because the focus is take it really slow, make sure that the pony is comfortable, so he's really listening to your aid. It's not about moving or placing the pony, it's about explaining him step by step what you want, and keep it simple, really simple, so the pony say, yes, I can do this, it's easy, and he start to offering a lot of magic things that I at least never would expect happening when I started to play in Liberty. So have fun with your pony, just take it slow and enjoy. Thank you for watching.